Please welcome the stars of Supernatural, Dean and Sam, the Winchester brothers, live and in the flesh. Give it up for Jensen, Ackles, and Jared Padalecki.
Thank you.
These were clearly for somebody who's not 6'4". I'm sort of doing this. Sorry.
Generally, nothing in life is for people that are 6'4".
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's,
I got it.
It's truly an honor to join the Saturn Awards celebration tonight and present the Dan Curtis Legacy Award.
So to die-hard genre TV fans, programming such as Dark Shadows, The Night Stalker, and Trilogy of Terror conjure fond memories of suspenseful television, which not only live on in our memories, but also stand the test of time.
Though diverse, one thing these classic genre television shows all have in common is their creator, famed writer, director, producer, Dan Curtis. Named in his honor, the Dan Curtis Legacy Award salutes fellow masters of genre TV and other quality programming.
Yeah, now this Saturn tradition began with such masterful storytellers as Vince Gilligan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and Brian Fuller of Hannibal, which are both represented here tonight. They're both here. Let's give them a round of applause.
Tonight, Jared and I are here to bestow the Dan Curtis Legacy Award to a television writer, director, and producer who is very near and dear to our collective hearts
and souls. The creator of Supernatural, the longest-running American genre series on TV, Erik Kripke.
Now, without Erik's creative spark, the Winchester brothers would have never been born, and the world would have surely been overrun by demons and angels and monsters.
Yeah, and Jensen and I might not have been forcibly imprisoned, gainfully employed for 12 years.
It actually says that I'm supposed to chuckle there.
It's actually calling you Chuckles is what it's doing. It's been a lot of fun. Okay. Like many of you here tonight, one of Erik's biggest influences was acclaimed science fiction author Richard Matheson of Twilight Zone fame, one of my personal favorites. In fact, his boyhood dream was to film a Matheson story as his film school. I'm gonna do that again.
What's that?
His boyhood dream was to film a Matheson story as his film school project. When Matheson's reps said no, Erik, naturally, contacted Matheson directly. Matheson faxed back his blessing for the film, which helped launch his career. And for any millennials out there, faxes are sort of the old school form of emails or texts or Snapchats or whatever it's called.
Yeah, we got it. Erik always considered himself a purveyor of genre material that is horror, sci-fi, fantasy, because it allows for an exploration of ideals. And his, God bless.
Go.
Did you write this, Erik?
Erik is wildly handsome, hung like a racehorse. Who wrote this?
In his first foray into the world of television was a modern-day version of Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan for the WB.
Right. Next, Erik wrote a screenplay for the horror film Boogeyman, which was released in early 2005 and spawned 2 sequels. However, in the same year, he created his signature TV series, which we have heard about, Supernatural.
The series' origin has various incarnations and was originally pitched as Star Wars in Truck Stop America and called Unnatural, probably more fitting.
Yeah.
Given
Yeah.
it's at one point Erik wanted to do an anthology show, and then it was to be a series about a reporter who worked for a tabloid magazine, you know, like Kolchak, The Night Stalker, which appropriately was produced by Dan Curtis.
Yeah. Finally, he settled on the idea of telling these stories in the format of this. Route 66, the great American road trip with the 2 brothers, the Winchesters. Now, Supernatural first aired on the WB in 2005 and then segued onto its current home, who a lot of us are here tonight employed by, the CW.
where, thanks to our deeply dedicated fan base, the show has been on ever since. Erik was the showrunner for seasons 1 through 5. Then he stayed on as writer-executive producer for season 6 and has been an executive consultant since season 7.
And he's currently chugging wine.
Yes.
I see him. Never one to rest on his laurels.
He's been a producer longer than he's been a writer of his own show.
Jesus, that's amazing.
It's disgusting.
Never one to rest on his laurels. Erik joined forces with executive producers. He joined forces with J.J. Abrams, Brian Burke, and Jon Favreau to create Revolution. Airing on NBC from 2012 to 2014, the show centered around a group of characters struggling to survive and reunite with loved ones in a post-apocalyptic world where everything electronic has mysteriously stopped working. Nominated for 7 Saturn Awards.
I think we were nominated for 7 Saturn Awards.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
However, Revolution won twice for Best Network TV Series.
See what happens when you leave us?
It's okay. It's okay. Breathe.
Next up, his highly anticipated time travel series on NBC coming this fall called Timeless. The series, God, here we watch. The series is about an unlikely trio traveling through time, battling unknown criminals in order to protect history as we know it, which is destined to become a Saturn favorite. You wrote this.
You totally wrote this. We get it.
Destined to become a Saturn favorite?
Come on, man. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right. In the meantime, let's enjoy some highlights from Kripke's amazing productions.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Janet Myers.
That's our girl.
What's that?
Well, guys.
p.m. May 6, 1937. You're telling me that this guy actually went back in time, for real, to the Hindenburg?
It is with great pleasure that we present a much-deserved Dan Curtis Legacy Award to
Our dear friend, Erik Kripke.
Thank you very much, everybody. All right, this will be super quick, I promise. So first of all, thanks to Jared and Jensen. I mean, we've been together for over a decade, been through ups and downs and countless adventures. If that's not the definition of family, I don't know what is. So thank you. You guys really are my brothers and love you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so listen, here's the thing about the Dan Curtis Legacy Award and why it's especially meaningful to me. In a very real way, I am a Dan Curtis legacy. Long ago and far away at Delwood Country Club, bear with me, this will have a point, in Rockland County, New York, legendary Dan Curtis met a young, aimless, fairly shady golf caddy by the name of Bob Singer. They became friends, and Bob became Dan's assistant, and then eventually his producer. Bob has worked on Night Stalker, House of Dark Shadows, Night Strangler, Trilogy of Terror, Burnt Offerings, and more. See, here's the thing. Dan Curtis taught Bob Singer everything he knew about television. Flash forward to 2005, and Bob met a young, aimless, totally fucking shady writer named me. And partnered with me to run Supernatural. So Bob taught me everything I know about this business, which means that all of those lessons really came from Dan Curtis. And I even had the pleasure of meeting Dan once. And so this really made me think that, you know, this is really the meaning of legacy, and it's something that we all in this room should think about, especially in this particular genre. None of us stand here alone. We're all here because of our heroes and our mentors who brought us here. So all of you, I mean, think about who those people were, because I sure as shit do. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dan Curtis. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bob Singer. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Richard Matheson, as they mentioned. And all the countless storytellers and stories that inspired me and all of us. My short list is E.T., Poltergeist, Evil Dead 2, Campbell, holy fucking shit, I can't believe I'm in the room with you. American Werewolf in London, Dead Alive, Blues Brothers, Monster Squad, Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jared Sin. So look, I can only hope that one day I can inspire someone the way Dan Curtis inspired Bob, the way Bob inspired me, and that I can keep the Dan Curtis legacy going, and that we all can inspire the next generation of people who work in this genre, because really that's what we're doing. We're just holding a torch for a minute, and then we're passing it on. And I hope we all have the opportunity to do that. Just to wrap up quick, I want to thank the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror. I want to thank Warner Brothers. I want to thank the CW. I want to thank NBC. I want to thank Sony, and all the actors, writers, producers, and craftsmen who have worked so tirelessly on my shows. Boy, when you talk about not standing alone, I mean, I would really be in the shitter without the hard work of all of these brilliant people. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Deanna, who both, oh, thank you, I know, seriously, right? Because she both supports and completely fucking tolerates me. So everything I do is for her and my boys. And finally, and I can't tell you how much I mean this, thank you all. What I really love most about this genre is that beneath it all, like, we're all just fans. And so there's many, many people in this room that I am a fan of who taught and inspired me. So thank you very much, because I'm here because of you too. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.